Yes. Okay, there we go. They actually successfully connected. I like the trainer profile.
Yeah, looking cool, Marcus.
So yeah, we have to make a decision. So I can screen share with you, but in the past, whenever I did that, the quality on the mainstream was a little bit bad. Or you could just commentate over the Twitch stream and then have like delay. What would you prefer?
I would.
How long's the delay?
Yeah, how long is it? I think I checked with Toby, and delay was like 4 or 5 seconds ish.
Yeah, I personally think it's not that bad.
Yeah, it should be alright because this is quite conversational.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this obviously isn't like the most, I don't know, polished, whatever.
Disclaimer to the chat.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm in game with him. And then, yeah, I'll mute myself and then...
Alright.
Good luck.
Good luck to Marcus.
Thanks. And yeah, I'll be back in a bit.
Alright. See you after 2 games.
We'll see.
Let's see. Maybe we get a game 3. Would be really exciting. Alright, both players are ready. Let's see the teams. I obviously know what Marcus is bringing. Really exciting new team that I haven't seen like this before. Some really cool stuff going on there. Don't want to like take anything away, of course. But you can be like excited. I don't know. I was really excited to watch Marcus's journey through Beast Coast because he managed to bring like I want to say new teams with new perks every week. He was prepared for his opponents.
Yeah, there was some good showcases of like Ferrothorn and Primarina.
Yeah.
Then I loved in the finals. I think I remember him saying he had like a last minute panic and was like, "Oh, just bring Hard Trick Room," and nobody kind of saw that coming based on his main run. So there'll be some surprises from Marcus for sure. But I think Japan will also have some good surprises throughout the whole tournament. They always have some quirky teams.
I mean, and this is the stage that Marcus like loves. He like playing against a world champion here, Japanese friend he played before. Having people like watching, this will probably be uploaded to YouTube as well. It's a really hype game, and this is where Marcus shines, where he focuses, gets into his game mode, and it seems like Japan, barudoru takes his time to pick his team. Maybe like last minute
prep as well, like team talk. You know, Japan lost round 1 of this, I suppose, like the first battle. So it's like, come on, we need to get on the board.
He's like, all right,
like team huddle.
Yeah, of course. We didn't lock in our teams beforehand or anything on a trustful base here. Just hoping that everything goes well. And let's see if there's any problem setting up the game. Otherwise, we can just... Oh, there we go. All right, let's jump into team preview. I hope Marcus gives us a quick glance at the opposing team, but he will be interested as well, of course. So we see Rhyperior, Gyarados, Snorlax, a Ferrothorn, Hydreigon, and Togekiss on Marcus' side.
Yeah, and on the other side we've got I love this. I love this so much. There's Pelipper. You've got the Bravery and the Hitmontop. Jolteon. Love seeing some Jolteon there, and Ferrothorn as well. So 2 Ferrothorns. We got the Dreadnought as well there for a little bit.
I was just going to say, you skipped the
Dreadnought. I realised, sorry, I got excited by the Jolteon. I was like, I want to talk about that. But yeah, so you got obviously the Raincore with the Dreadnought and the Pelipper. That's always quite exciting, seeing a little bit of weather, and that's something that Rhyperior on Marcus' side doesn't want to face at all. But, you know, if you can get Rhyperior, as we saw in the previous game as well, you're just going to be able to sweep through if you're in a good position. You know, things like the Bravery and the Pelipper and the Jolteon, to be fair, don't want to take any Rock-type moves. So what do you think it's going to be like in the lead here?
It's actually really interesting. This Japanese team, I think it was published before, the Jolteon Rain team. I've seen that. I think I've seen an article. Really interesting that barudoru decided to bring this team here. Marcus seems to know what he's going to do, already picked his 4, but takes more time to maybe think about his game plan. Rain, of course, let's put it this way. Gyarados doesn't want to take any rock slides from Dreadnought, right? Rhyperior is not good against Rain either. But usually Ferrothorn is a great answer against Rain. But he has to look out for any close combats from that. Hitmontop, for example. Exactly. And Bravery as well. Going for that superpower in that case. There could be options. Speed control will be interesting. But looking at Marcus' team, we'll probably just try to...
leading with the Rain. I like that. They were both in dive balls as well. That was super cute. So yeah, Rain mode going up on Barudoru's side, and Ferrothorn and Snorlax coming out. So a nice slow mode here coming out from Marcus. Like you said, Ferrothorn always looks pretty good against Rain teams. I mean, I actually think both Ferrothorns on these teams look pretty good if they can get them positioned well and remove the threats early on. They're going to be in a good position. It'd be interesting to see what sets they've got, because we've seen that body press set running around quite a lot. But then there has been a slight move back to some of the more traditional Ferrothorn sets as well, with the whole Leech Seed Protect scenario.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to go here, but I think Marcus will probably want to get his Snorlax up into a good position.
Yeah, I mean the game's in German, so I can see and give you a little glance at the stats here. We see it's Snorlax protecting, and Ferrothorn is not the classic Iron Defense set here, but he goes straight in the offense with a super power, and if that follows up by a Hurricane, and if it follows up by a Hurricane, then this Ferrothorn might just be gone turn 1. But we see it buried to heal up. That's good for Marcus, I suppose. And he has a chance to live the Hurricane here. Let's see.
Ooh, let's have a little look.
Okay.
Yeah, able to survive. Does get confused though, which does kind of suck a little bit going into the next couple of turns. Will Ferrothorn be able to get his move off? Yeah.
Oh, and he hits the Leech Seed, which is really great to have some recovery. He can go for the Protect next turn, or maybe switch out, depending on if he wants to risk the Self-Hit or not. But that was a really strong play from Barudoru. Seeing that Ferrothorn is a big threat to his Rain team, and doubling up into that straight away is a great play there. I think Marcus has to find a way to, I guess, maneuver around that Dreadnought now. But after that superpower, his attack at least is lowered by 1 stage, so he has less damage output here.
Yeah, and then he's got the superpower on there, and it did a huge amount of damage to Ferrothorn. That's something Snorlax has to worry about as well, possibly in the later game. Like you said, the attacks drop down as well. But I do think that was really good by Barudoru to target into the unprotecting Pokemon. Always a really good utility of the turn. And there is a switch, so the stat's going to reset and the Ferrothorn joins the field. As the Ferrothorn on Marcus' side does indeed get his move off again, goes for Protect.
Successfully. I was worried a little bit about the confusion there, but he gets off the Protect. Another Scald. He ignores the protecting slot and goes straight into that Snorlax. Doesn't get a burn here, doesn't do too much damage either, and we see Yawn into the Ferrothorn.
I like this Snorlax. It's kind of not normal. Like, you know, normally when you see a Snorlax, you're like, oh, Belly Drum, Gigantamax, like... And then normally would have a more supportive Pokemon, but the fact you've got these two slow, pretty kind of chunky Pokemon doing things like setting up Leech Seed, going for Yawn, it's definitely looking like Marcus is going for a strong end game play here and just trying to make sure that he's making the ball position happy for his 2 Pokemon in the back. But yeah, Snorlax going for the Yawn again, going to force Barudoru to maybe do some switches.
Yeah, really great about Yawn is that if you hit the switch in there, he already takes his first turn of Yawn. And then he has to decide, do I want to go for 1 single attack here and then fall asleep, or switch out straight away? We see Barudoru switching out, doesn't want to go asleep. And another Hurricane follow up in the Ferrothorn slot, which is now a Hydreigon, and he gets a crit.
Oh, yeah.
And a confusion to do over 50% damage.
Hydreigon.
I don't think Marcus is happy about that.
No, I don't think Hydreigon is either.
But clever play going into Yawn into that. Well, was the Ferrothorn, which was already yawned.
Yeah.
And get up another Yawn into that Dreadnought.
Yeah, so like you said, Dreadnaught's now in that awkward position where it either has to switch out or it goes to sleep at the end of this turn, right? So it'd be interesting to see if Barudoru does want to switch it out again, or if he maybe wants to go for some big damage with it. We saw how much Superpower did previously. That could be really good against the Snorlax now. Because unless you take down Snorlax, like, it's so chunky, you're going to basically have it sit there, Yawn Pokemon, and we've kind of seen some pretty cool moves going on there as well. So if your Pokemon are asleep, you can click some cool moves that might pick up some one-hit KOs. So that would be pretty cool as well. So you need to be able to start getting rid of it. But no, just going to be switching, wants to keep his Pokemon awake.
Yeah, it's interesting how much pressure that Yawn is putting on Barudoru's team. But at the same time, this Pelipper was unchallenged until now. It was able to go for 2 Hurricanes, getting 2 confusions there. And on top of that, also getting a Scald, no burn there. But yeah, Pelipper is in a really good position. And I'm interested to see what Marcus decides to go for here. His Confuse Hydreigon Dynamaxes. Let's hope that he doesn't waste a turn to self-hit and he gets through with the... Oh, that's interesting.
Dyna Brand. I'm learning German here.
Yeah, Max Flare.
I like that though.
Misses the KO, but sets up the sun here.
Yeah, I like that. Changes the weather and stops those hurricanes being so problematic.
Yeah, and the good part is that first of all, Hurricane misses now. He gets off a Yawn. And the good part is that if you change the weather while your opponent's weather setter is still on the field, that will now take him 2 turns to get his weather back up.
Yeah,
so he would have to switch out his Pelipper, which Marcus can easily punish with any potential play there. Right? He can, I don't know, go for a max Wormwind. Oh yeah, he could Dynamax it. Yeah, of course. So that's really interesting. And that was actually a lot of damage with a max flare in rain, actually. But yeah, let's hope that he stays, or he snaps out of confusion.
Yeah.
Getting his second strong attack off. And Snorlax also great. Took 1 Scald, healed back up.
Like a champ.
Yeah, and then it's, like, starts healing back up with leftovers. So that's a really interesting set. And yeah, it also has Fissure, which some people in chat already mentioned. Geofissur in German is Fissure. So that's something to keep in mind for the late game, where any potential threat could be fissured.
I like that. This Snorlax is really interesting, and I don't think it's something you can predict for. So game 1 information game is going to be really, really strong. Hydreigon does hit itself though. That really sucks. You're wasting one of your Dynamax turns, and obviously your Dynamax Pokemon is now a sitting duck. It's able to survive that though, which is really good. Might be able to get a move off on the next turn as Snorlax goes for another Yawn into that Ferrothorn. So Marcus really targeting down the Ferrothorn quite a lot. Knowing it is one of those Pokemon that can provide quite a threat, it does manage to obviously survive from that max flare, and you know, any fire type move going into it now is easily just going to be able to pick up the KO. But you need to be able to hit, and I think Hydreigon now is looking at that tricky position where it needs to break through this next.
Yeah, I'm actually not a big fan of that Yawn into that Ferrothorn, for the simple reason that Pelipper was likely to switch out there, because you want to reset your weather, and you yawned. So now Dreadnought's on the field, he can bring in Pelipper to set up the rain again, and then he's rain boosted and can hit it off with strong water attacks, or even like another superpower into either of those slots. We see that most of Marcus's Pokemon are weak to fighting type attacks. So we see Ferrothorn, Snorlax, and that Hydreigon, of course. So yeah, you need to take care of that Dreadnought as soon as possible. Otherwise, he will just keep going for big damage here. We see Rock Slide actually was potentially trying to knock out. Oh, nice. He gets off another Yawn. So he was probably trying to knock out the Hydreigon there with a Rock Slide and get maybe a flinch and some damage on the Snorlax. Snorlax doesn't flinch though, starts healing back up again, and Ferrothorn takes that Rock Slide like a champ. Once again, we see Yawn going into the Dreadnought, and until now, barudoru actually switched out every time he was yawned. But now Marcus goes for a new play, and I'm really excited to see if he gets that off, because that would change a lot in their matchup here. But I was going to say, I was afraid that he would just go for the Hurricane and knock out the Ferrothorn. But Ferrothorn has one secret, and let's see if he's going for that in the next game yet.
Yeah, well, another Yawn coming out from Snorlax, and I think you're right. Like, this Pelipper has been unchecked the whole game, and I think it's really caused Marcus a lot of trouble with those Hurricanes. Obviously, like in rain, he's managed to get that set up again. It's going to be hitting for 100% accuracy, and he's been able to get all the confusions or all the KOs so far, and it's just been a little bit tricky for him. So Marcus does need to, I think, find a way to just get rid of it at this stage, because it's also going to boost up any water type attacks from the Dreadnought, which is still being preserved in the back, and that's something that barudoru is doing really well. Like you said, Superpower is going to be really strong against all the Pokemon that Marcus has brought, except this Togekiss. But then again, you've still got your Ferrothorn there that can deal some good damage to Togekiss if you're carrying Steel type moves. So I don't know what Togekiss is going to be able to do against this Ferrothorn. It is low health though, so maybe something like a Dazzling Gleam followed up by something from
I'm still a little bit sad about that self-hit on the Hydreigon, because of Max Wombat could have picked up the KO on the Dreadnought there and then take out one big threat of the team, and then Marcus is suddenly in a really great position. On top of that, Marcus no longer has the option to go for a Max Flare to change the weather, so barudoru has the weather control here. And it really comes down, he switches out again, he doesn't want to go sleep, but maybe Marcus can take advantage of all those switches here.
Yeah, maybe. Like you said, every time anyone's gone to sleep, there's always, or could have gone to sleep, there's always been a switch. Heat Wave though coming out from the Togekiss, love that going into the Ferrothorn, doesn't even matter about the rain, thanks to the weak damage it already had. Was that a critical hit as well?
It's a double crit, yeah.
Nice, crit kiss, always there. Picks up the nice KO against the Ferrothorns, that's one less thing to worry about. And Snorlax is just sitting here making everything go to sleep. Like, I love this so much from the Snorlax. It's so not bothered by anything that's happening at the moment. It's not doing the usual things we see where it goes big on attack, you know, belly drum and then pick up KOs. It's just putting things to a sleep, which is being so disruptive.
Yeah, the interesting part is that with all those sleep actions going on, ooh, Jolteon.
I'm happy.
Lou got really excited for a second. With all those yawn plays, you prevent your opponent from going for his Dynamax yet. So we haven't seen Barudoru Dynamax yet, but of course he has to fear that at any point he can just go for the yawn and then you waste one or maybe even 2 turns of the Dynamax.
But that's really good because Jolteon can go for electric terrain.
Oh, that's...
With if it Dynamaxes. That would also really upset the Togekiss if you go for like Max Lightning into it.
That is a very good observation here.
Jolteon's awesome.
So this is Marcus against Barudoru at the moment. I can't change the overlay, unfortunately. Germany's up 1-0 thanks to the victory of Toby earlier. And yeah, so you're very right. Jolteon can Dynamax here.
We're going to see big Jolteon. This will actually be amazing.
Yeah, and set up electric terrain. Maybe even take out the Togekiss here.
I'm excited.
And then prevent any sleep from happening. At the same time, we've seen that Marcus is running Fissure on his Snorlax, but as far as I'm aware, Dynamax Pokemon are... Ooh, Rock Slide. Okay. Dynamax Pokemon are immune to one-hit KO attacks.
Yeah, well, speedy side on Baradora's side of the field, going for the rock side as well to potentially get any flinches, but like we said there as well, the Max Lightning coming out. Going to do some good damage to Togekiss, but not enough to pick up the KO, interestingly. I don't know, I just felt like that actually would have picked it up, particularly if it's Life Orb, but maybe it needed the help of the electric terrain. But crucially now, nothing can go to sleep, everything's grounded on Baradora's side of the field, so Snorlax is just going to have to do something different at this stage.
Yeah, and this pretty much seals the game here. Marcus actually for fading as well. He didn't see the Max Lightning coming, so he went for another yawn, but that was blocked by electric terrain here. And Marcus was just out damaged. The rock slide flinching the Togekiss as well, so one less attack there. But I feel like at the end, what sealed the game was a self-hit from Hydreigon when it was Dynamaxed.
Yeah, that was like a really big missed opportunity that would have put Marcus in a really strong position, but that's one of the benefits of the confusion from Hurricane.
I want to say, like, shoutouts to Barudoru. He basically played a 1v2 most of the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
he probably switched 80% of the turns.
But I think that's the other thing, though. If you're doing things to force your opponent to switch, like going for yawn and stuff, like there's kind of that phrase, like you have to do damage to win the game, right?
Exactly.
And there wasn't a lot of damage output coming from Marcus because he was either just yawning with a Snorlax or the other Pokemon was either confused or switching. So the momentum wasn't building up for him. Like you could see the potential in it. It was like a really, really good plan. But then thanks to that confusion here and the fact that Snorlax was not an offensive Pokemon at all, so only one of Marcus's Pokemon was really dealing damage. It was a bit of a struggle for him to build that momentum up to sort of seal out the end game he was looking at.
Yep. I'm currently looking at the chat and they're talking about Dreadnought and its Gigantamax form. Gigantamax form. I think looking at the damage, we kind of can confirm that this is probably a choice band Dreadnought here. Didn't get any recoil. I think the Life Orb was on Jolteon.
Yeah, it was. That would explain the switch from Superpower as well.
Yeah.
After turn 1.
And we've also seen that, we haven't seen a lot of Dreadnought yet, and people be like, oh yeah, what is this Gigantamax form even doing? It's G-Max Stone Surge, which sounds like a rock move, but it's actually your water move, and sets up rocks on the opposing side.
Okay. That could be quite good in this game with a lot of switching.
I want to say that if you run a Gigantamax Pokemon and you give it a choice band, you're very unlikely to Gigantamax it. Because you lose the effect of Dynamax, the effect of
your
choice
item.
band. Exactly. So it's probably a bad trade-off here. But yeah, so it might be choice band there. It didn't Gigantamax the whole game. Went for strong attacks, did a lot of damage there. So yeah, let's see. Marcus switched up a little bit. I think instead of Togekiss, he now brought Rhapiria.
So
and we
all
see
fighting.
completely different lead from Barudoru this time.
Yeah, this is a slightly scary lead though for Marcus in the sense you've got that Hitmontop. The attack drop isn't really going to bother Snorlax at this stage because it hasn't done anything offensive. But a close combat coming out from the Hitmontop is going to deal some good damage. Again, that could go into the Ferrothorn, deal some good damage. And I think I like the change here from barudoru, where he's brought out the Jolteon early on. If he does want to Dynamax that again and go for the Max Lightning, it just stops Snorlax and its tracks a little bit, getting that electric terrain up straight away. It forces Marcus to have a plan B, and I think a Snorlax that's intimidated would be going for Yawn and can't now, isn't going to be in the strongest position, but he doesn't actually do any switches, so maybe Snorlax is going to be clicking that really cool button that we've seen.
Oh, the fissure button.
That would be awesome.
Take out the Hitmontop straight away with a 40% chance. But yeah, that's one option. People talking about the Rhyperior that Marcus has in the back as well, and its potential ability, which we haven't confirmed yet. So let's see. We actually see a Protect from Ferrothorn, and let's see what's happening here. So it seems like a double Protect here.
Oh, okay.
All right. Doesn't want to take any Fake Out plus attack here. And he goes for Max Ghost. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Max Ghost, Max Phantasm, of course. Lowers the defense, and then in close combat could take out that Ferrothorn as well. So that's a very interesting play here. Going for that very fast Max Phantasm. This is actually game 2. Marcus lost game 1. So we see a double up into that Ferrothorn. But unfortunately, with that double protect here, Marcus now is in a really awkward spot. Because his defenses on both his Pokemon are already lowered. Sorry, a close
any
combat,
fighting type moves are
a close combat will do a lot of damage, and Marcus on barudoru can just go for another Max Phantasm here.
Yeah.
Lower defense again, and then Hitmontop is in a really good spot to.
Yeah. I love the synergy of those two moves, and the fact that Marcus' side of the field is so slow, there's really not a lot he can do to avoid that.
Yeah.
Switches in the Rhyperior though, that's obviously something that can tank a few things.
And there's the Lightning Rod.
Oh, that's so cool! I feel so sad for Jolteon, but so happy for Marcus' Rhyperior. But, I mean, it's really cool, but it does have to take that close combat. It doesn't have any defense drop or anything. Like, that would have been so good if the Jolteon, like you said, had gone for another Max Phantasm. But it allows Snorlax to go for something there, but I need your German to tell me what that was.
That was a Yawn here.
Oh, it was another Yawn.
And it's really interesting. Bring in your Lightning Rod, catch that Max Lightning, prevent electric terrain from going up, and then going for
another Yawn.
Yeah, so Jolteon has to decide, do I want to go for another Max Phantasm and maybe pick up the KO on Snorlax with a close combat here, but then I would fall asleep at the end of the turn. He doesn't have any way to KO the Rhyperior and set up electric terrain at the same time.
Yeah.
So he's kind of in an awkward position. I would have loved to see that play last turn, but then, of course, the Max Phantasm close combat would have just picked up the KO on Rhyperior. So well play from Marcus End here. We see the Dynamax switch out here. He doesn't want to go asleep again.
Yeah, poor little Jolteon wants to return back to its Pokeball, but I think the big threat here is the Hitmontop and the Dreadnought as well. We know it's packing a really strong superpower. And as we can see from Marcus' Pokemon, they're all weak to fighting, so he needs to get rid of these threats ASAP. What was the Rhyperior doing?
It went for a high horsepower and missed.
Oh, missed. That's sad times.
It's sad times. Interesting that it was faster than the Hitmontop. But yeah, so Dynamax and any potential defense drops are gone now. Marcus loses Rhyperior, but prevents electric terrain from going up. So this is now a game where Marcus has to try to play the long game with his Ferrothorn and Snorlax. But first of all, he has to get rid of this Hitmontop.
Yeah, and also, I know like you can't set up the electric terrain anymore, but Jolteon can still deal out some good damage with the Life Orb. And because it's so fast, you have to worry about that in the end game if your Pokemon are kind of low health. It can maybe start picking up some KOs. But to be honest, the big threats are the two that are on the field right now. Marcus still has his Dynamax though, so this could be where he goes for that Dynamax Hydreigon like he did in the first game. Can deal out some good damage without having to worry about the confusion. And last time we Dynamaxed at half health as well, which is not optimal at all.
Yeah, we haven't seen the last Pokemon from barudoru, and I can only assume that it's the Pelipper being able to set up the rain here and giving the Swift Swim boost to Dreadnought. So it was really unfortunate to see the high horsepower missing. We have seen that it was a choice plan from Rhyperior there. And I want to say with the high horsepower going into that Dreadnought, that would have been a clean KO. And Marcus only is in a better position being able to get rid of that Dreadnought and one big threat, one big superpower user is gone for his fighting type weak Pokemon.
Again, it just looks like a bit of a curse on Marcus with this one turn that is like a complete missed opportunity that turns out to be quite pivotal. He's going to go for the Dynamax here, though. It's going to be that Hydreigon going to get stuff up nice and big. But as you said, the fourth Pokemon's now been revealed, and it was indeed, to your prediction, the Pelipper. So that's going to really help out the Dreadnought here as well.
Yeah, I don't think that two superpowers, especially after a Max Wormbend. Maybe I take that back. I was going to say that after the attack drop from both Max Wormbend and the superpower, we see Sash confirmation here. That maybe Hydreigon was able to survive that. But looking, I mean, -2 attack is basically half damage than before. Let's look at the numbers and then maybe.
Look at the body press coming up from the Ferrothorn, and it does pick up a really nice KO. I think that's something Marcus desperately needed because, as you were saying, you were kind of worried about those superpowers and the damage output it can do. A little bit unfortunate the Pelipper's still hanging around with the Focus Sash, but I think Hydreigon outspeeds.
Yeah,
does it? So
I want to say Hydreigon outspeeds the Pelipper here. Depending on how they are trained, we've seen that Marcus is running Assault Vest on Hydreigon, so it could be a bulkier, slower version. But the body press knockout was really important here
I like
because
that.
one big threat is gone. Marcus seems to be in a better position now. I think with his Assault Vest in Dynamax, he can take any attack from Jolteon.
Yes.
Or, exactly, Jolteon here, and might even be able to pick up the KO in reverse.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to do against the... I keep wanting to say Tentacruel, thanks to the German. The Ferrothorn here. We know there's still the Hitmontop in the back, though, so he's going to be probably preserving it for the Ferrothorn at this stage. So like I said, Pelipper, not really going to be able to do too much to the Hydreigon or the Jolteon as their special attackers, but again, they could try just chipping away at it at this stage. Maybe if they both double up into it, get a crit or something, that could help out. Or even you could start chipping away a little bit more, going for those Hurricanes. Like, that's the thing, though. He may not be able to deal a lot of damage, but if you go for Hurricane, get the confusion again, it's going to be game one all over again.
And he's going for a Thunder.
Oh, in
Does
rain.
he get any paralysis? No, it doesn't look like paralysis here. And let's see his outspeeding. Yeah, okay, we have confirmation that Hydreigon's outspeeding. Should get the knockout here with Max Wormwind. And I want to say that Hurricane, as long as it doesn't confuse the Ferrothorn, won't be able to prevent Ferrothorn from knocking out the
Pelipper.
The Pelipper, exactly. So see Hurricane, will we see the next confusion?
Still does a lot, you know? Does get confusion, but does it hit? Oh, got a little berry.
Okay, citrus berry there.
Why is it not Lum right now? Like you're a plant, grapefruit.
And if he gets through here, then it's suddenly... He does. All right, well done. So it suddenly turns into 3v1. And Marcus being able to come back into the second game, even though it didn't look too good at the beginning.
Yeah, so it really didn't. But I think having that Lightning Rod really kind of threw Barudoru's strategy as well with that Jolteon. Like I said as well with Jolteon, with the Assault Vest on the Hydreigon and a few of the other choices that are on there, it couldn't deal too much damage. The main kind of tech from it that would have been really good here is setting up that electric terrain. And it meant that upon switching out from the Yawn, he loses his Dynamax, he loses a little bit of that momentum, and Marcus still had access to his Dynamax to be able to kind of apply that strength that he needed in game one. Like, his Dynamax was kind of a last chance saloon at that stage when he threw it up because you were confused, it was half health, whereas this time he was able to get the Hydreigon up in a much stronger position. So I like the turnaround here, and the only thing that's slightly concerning is all the information that's been revealed.
Yeah.
So game 3 is going to be a little bit of mind games, which to me is like the most stressful thing about VGC. So it'll be interesting to see how like these guys who have all the experience are going to be able to do it.
So we see that Max Wormwood missed the KO here. Marcus was considering switching out his Ferrothorn, but stayed in and went for a lead seat. We see a berry on Hitmontop. I don't think we saw that earlier. So citrus berry on Hitmontop, and a close combat picking up the KO. So interesting game here. Yeah, I see Edu being triggered by so many shared weaknesses in Marcus' team. So I think Marcus brought 4 Pokemon.
Yeah, 4 fighting weaknesses. Yeah. Like, that just does sound mad though, let's be honest. It's like you kind of see, particularly if you're the opponent and you see that and you're like, hey, I've got this amazing superpower Pokemon, I've got a Hitmontop, like this should be fine, right? And then when it's not, it's so sad.
Yeah, at the same time, like, all his Pokemon are super bulky. Dreadnought is choice band, but it doesn't have stab bonus on superpower. So yes, we have seen that it did a lot of damage to the Hydreigon. Wasn't able to pick up the KO there in the Dynamax form. So
I think it was just well played. Like it wasn't obviously typing is really important, but I think as well the thing that was really cool here was having the kind of the abilities on there as well, and some of the item choices like lightning rod, assault vest. They were all really critical things here, and some of the move choices as well really helped out. And the synergy on Marcus's side. So yeah, typing is super important, but there are other parts to VGC as well. So I think Marcus was able to play around this really well. Snorlax is back now. Snorlax actually going to do some damage for the first time in like this whole set. Goes for a heavy slam and picks up the nice KO against Hitmontop. So nice to see Marcus be able to pull that back. Game 3 is what we want in like Japan versus Germany. But this is where it's going to get really stressful.
And the pressure is on, of course. I am next in line playing Alcana afterwards. I'm starting to get nervous here. But yeah, let's focus on game 3. So
Fisher.
I want to say that the games were pretty open on both game 1 and game 2. Both had the chance to win. Throughout the whole game, it was pretty open who would win. It wasn't one-sided at all. So well done from both players. Excited to see what Marcus switches up here and how barudoru adapts to the lightning rod threat from Valkyria in the back now.
Exactly. I feel like they're still going for kind of a heavy fighting. Pressure on his side is going to be quite optimal for him. But I feel like the Jolteon isn't going to be as effective now, knowing that there's that Rhyperior. Marcus brought Rhyperior to both. No, he didn't bring it to the first game, did he? He brought
No, he didn't.
Togekiss.
He brought it.
Okay, well, he might bring it again, because obviously it's quite good as long as it hits its high horsepowers. Can apply a lot of pressure. Rock damage is obviously good to hit that Pelipper as well. But yeah, I'm not too sure if barudoru is going to maybe try and go highly on the offensive, or he's going to try and play around Marcus a little bit more. But the thing is interesting with Marcus is he's led really slow the past 2 games. He's led Snorlax Ferrothorn both games. He could change it up and then throw his strategy the other way.
What I would like to see is maybe... We have no idea about the item on that Bravery, but I've seen a lot of Lumberry Bravery around.
Oh, okay.
So maybe he can use Bravery to and the potential Lumberry there to pick up a knockout on that Snorlax very early in the game. Like getting Yawn, but getting 2 attacks off, then waking up through the Lumberry, getting a third attack off, and then maybe picking up the KO on Snorlax. While not falling asleep, could then turn around the tide for barudoru.
Bravery could be really nice as well, because if Marcus changes things up, maybe brings Gyarados or something. I mean, it doesn't look like he is at this stage. Okay. I stand corrected. Bravery would be quite a good little lead from the Intimidate there. Like I was kind of saying, Bravery, I can see why it's sitting on the bench if there's no Intimidate coming out, but Marcus does have a Gyarados, and for game 3, you might want to really change things up so that your opponent can't predict you as well. So having that Pokemon on there could be really good.
Yeah, very good point. I'm excited to see the Gyarados here.
It'll make use of the rain.
So Gyarados seems like a good Pokemon against Hitmontop. Not so much against Jolteon, but against Hitmontop and the Pelipper-ish. Doesn't do too good against Jolteon and Dreadnought. So I think Marcus' goal will be to take out one of the threats, being able to bring Gyarados in position. I want to say that once you take out the Jolteon there, right?
Yeah.
And you Dynamax your Gyarados, it should be able to take a Rock Slide pretty well there.
Yeah, should be.
I mean, we have to consider that it's still Choice Band Rock Slide, and we haven't seen confirmation about the ability on Gyarados either.
That's true, whether it's Moxie or Intimidate.
So it might take a lot of damage, but I think Gyarados has the tools to take out Dreadnought in return if he wants to. And then it's an open game again. So let's see. Turn 1 is again very...
He's taking his time.
Yeah. Because there's the play of going for Max Phantasm and
following up
combat.
again. Yeah.
But he didn't go for that. Actually, decides to switch out. Yeah.
But I think that's quite wise, because you're going to fear the Rhyperior coming in again, right? It's exactly what's happening here. And as we saw before, Jolteon can't really do too much. Yes, it can lower the defense. But if you then get put to sleep by the Snorlax that was on the field, then you're just going to end up switching again. And I think you want to preserve your Dynamax and be a little bit more sensible with it. Was that fake out or close combat going into
That was
Ferrothorn?
a close combat going into that Protect and Ferrothorn, yeah. Well done on barudoru and switching in the Dreadnought here, and now having immediate threat to both Pokemon. He can go for a Waterfall, pick up the KO on Rhyperior, but then he's locked into Waterfall. He can go into, doubles like superpower close combat combination, pick
Yeah.
out the KO on
Just go speedy
Terraform.
at this stage.
Yeah. And we have seen that Marcus had all like fighting type weak Pokemon, so doubling up into Pokemon that protected could get you one free KO there.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw Barudoru do that really well in game 1 as well, where he predicted all of Marcus's protects. But Rhyperior going to switch out again, knowing that's a threat. Like, this would be so great if you had Gastrodon in your team right now. But instead, it's going to be the Gyarados coming in. No Intimidate, though, so we know now it's Moxie.
Ooh, that is very interesting.
Is that Bullet Punch?
That was Bullet Punch, yes. And he locks himself into Liquidation. It's doing a good chunk, but not enough here. And he gets off a Leech Seed. So the unfortunate position here is that Dreadnought is now locked into Liquidation.
Yeah.
On the other side, he can Dynamax his Dreadnought.
He can do, and then break out of that ban. Like we was kind of saying before, like if you have a choiced Pokemon, it's unlikely going to be your Dynamax because you won't get the benefit of the item. It's like it loses it for the 3 turns. The good thing about choice ones is it does still give you that flexibility where if you've got a move slot that you want to use in a max move form, you're able to go click that if you Dynamax. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts. Like it's got good points and bad points. But do you know why he Bullet Punched there as opposed to not close combated?
Actually not sure if he... Oh, I know why. He was fearing... So we have seen that... I think we have seen that...
Oh, it was faster. Yeah, that'd be why.
And Barudoru doesn't know the item from Marcus yet. So it could be a Sash Rhyperior there, and he wants to break the Sash, right?
Ah, okay, yeah, good point.
So we see rain switching in, and I got a feeling this is a Dynamax. And it is. It is a what was the Gigantamax or Dynamax? I don't know
here
yet.
we go.
But, oh yeah, this is very dangerous. He loses, of course, his Choice Band. This looks like...
It's normal Dynamax, isn't
it is Dynamax right now. It is not Gigantamax.
Gigantamax is like goes into like turtle mode.
Yeah,
and it's
so
back
he
a little
stands
bit.
up, basically.
Yeah.
So we could see a Max Rockfall here.
Yeah, Max Rockfall would be... The only thing with Max Rockfall is, yes, it would do like huge amount of damage, but you're going to change up the weather. And I feel like you kind of want the rain. The Pelipper, did we see the item on it? I feel like it got one hit KO. Oh, so it is Sash. So you don't really want to set up your own your own sand because you've got Pelipper, and then you break its Sash at the end of the turn.
And there's a Max Rockfall, and that is very unfortunate for Marcus. Will his Gyarados be able to take it? No. So he goes down there, and I actually like that it's a Dynamax and not a Gigantamax for the sole reason that he can now go for a Max Geyser and set up Rain again. Whereas Gigantamax Stone Surge wouldn't do that.
That's very true. Thinking a couple of turns ahead, that's where the weather... Yeah, you break your Sash, but you pick up a KO against the other Dynamax. And then you can change the weather anyway, so then all the water Pokemon are a little bit happier. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate there for Marcus, losing his Dynamax really early on again. There is no electric terrain, so as you can see, it looks like he's going to try and maybe bring that Snorlax back in. He's thinking about it, but this could be a good opportunity to start going for more Yawns. I don't think a max move is going to be able to KO a full HP Snorlax, so it could give you the opportunity to go for Yawn.
The downside on Barudoru then, of course, is that now the superpower turns into
Max Knuckle.
Max Knuckle and is weaker, actually, and doesn't get the Choice Band bonus either.
But you don't get the drops.
You don't get the drops, that is true. But if you think about it, he loses so much power on his fighting type attacks here that Snorlax will be easily taken like any Max Knuckles here. I think, Max Geyser should actually be stronger in this case.
Yeah.
But he decides to switch out, wants to have his Rain up later again, and maybe goes. Oh yeah, Max Knuckle boosting up the attack stat of
the Hitmontop
as well.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
Because, your Hitmontop's not going to Dynamax, it's still going to get the full potential out of something like a close combat. I was going to say you don't really need to worry too much when you've got a Pelipper that seems to be getting all the confusions. You could just kind of go for that, but you want the Rain back up for that. So I really like the switching by Barudoru. It's really thinking about the full potential and utility of his team. And this is the most beneficial way to use that move. Leech Seed? Is my German right? Yes, let's go.
Leech Seed and Yawn. I don't like to double up there. Because you can just protect the last turn of Dynamax anyway. And he forced him to switch out, which makes the Leech Seed weaker as well. But on the same time, we have a Hitmontop on the field at +1 at the moment.
Yeah, that's quite scary.
So, but you can have predicted the switch in there. So well played on Barudoru's end. I kind of want to see a yawn going into that Hitmontop. But I mean, barudoru could also just take a sleep for once, take a rest for once.
I don't know if he's going to start doing that.
Go for a max knuckle close combat, and that should deal a lot of damage here.
Yeah, that should do, and that would boost up the Hitmontop even further. The other thing is, though, you could switch out your Dreadnought, bring Pelipper back in to reset the weather, so that when Dreadnought comes back in, not only is it not asleep, but it's going to be able to benefit from the rain up as well, and that, I think, looks like what's going to be happening.
Yeah, but barudoru stays true to his changing game, doesn't want to take a sleep here, switches out, +1 Hitmontop is now the biggest threat on the field, and I want to see if we've seen that -1 close combat did less than 50% to...
Oh my god! Yeah. Snorlax goes down!
I was just going to say, we saw earlier in game 2 that -1 close combat did like less than 50%, but like barely 50% to Snorlax. But the difference between... let's see. No,
it doesn't pick up the KO.
The difference between -1 and +1 is actually over 200, so like over 100%, so you do more than double damage there. So yeah, it was... I kind of like, you could do the math and see that close combat would pick up the KO. And now Marcus is in a spot where a Scald probably picks up the KO on Rhyperior, a close combat picks up the KO on Ferrothorn, and we might have to tie this up to a 1-1 between Germany and Japan.
Yeah. I'm interested in Marcus's team because there's some really cool quirks in it. Like, I'm really sad we didn't see Fisher Snorlax. I'm not going to lie, that would have been awesome. But having the Lightning Rod on the Rhyperior as well, and kind of the defensive bulk of the team, but it was really slow. So, like, I think you said this at the beginning.
That's another interesting move. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Was that Tailwind?
He goes for the Tailwind, gets another knockout on the Ferrothorn. Tailwind immediately getting Hitmontop faster than Rhyperior.
Which is what he needed.
That Rhyperior was faster. And at this point, I was going to say, maybe if Marcus gets the knockout, before...
I mean, he does. Okay, that's super interesting. Because what I was saying is it just looks like Marcus doesn't have any way to outspeed anything. Like, yeah, the Rhyperior outspeed the Hitmontop, but generally speaking, a lot of the Pokemon that he had suit better on like a Trick Room team. So it's interesting he wasn't going for that strategy, and I think as well, when you're up against something that's got a Tailwind, you really have no hope of outspeeding anything.
Yeah.
Little Jolteon's back. And Dreadnought.
Really tough position. I guess the Liquidation will just pick up the KO. I was going to say that the Jolteon doesn't really have any... I don't think it has any tool to beat the Rhyperior, but Liquidation should just be enough here. So...
yeah, Liquidation coming out in the rain as well, being boosted up. Poor Rhyperior goes down.
Dreadnought getting the victory here. And that is a very well played game from both sides.
GG.
Oh, hey Marcus, GG.
Yeah, I think it was hard to the one turn where you Dynamax the Gyarados. I don't know if it was. I guess it was really hard to decide if he goes for the Dynamax and resets his lock, or if he switches out. Well played on barudoru's end there.
Yeah, it was a good set throughout. Like, really intense things where you were changing up, like where you didn't have information and where he didn't have information. It made for some really exciting turns where the ball position switched a little bit. But then coming into game 3 was just unfortunate with some of the big damage one-hit KOs that were coming your way.
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously my team doesn't do that well against fighting type attacks, so like through the entire set I had to play around that. And then the turn where he Dynamaxed, if I switch to Rhyperior, I think I'm in a pretty decent spot. But yeah, like, he definitely made the right call Dynamaxing his Dreadnought and not the Jolteon.
Yeah,
so
had its moment.
like with the team that I was using, I think in this matchup it would have been really nice for me to win the first game, because how like dangerous like some of his mons are. Like, if he finds the right targets for his choice band Dreadnought, it's just very difficult for me. And at the same time, if he, like, I don't know, makes the right moves with Jolteon and Hitmontop and I don't switch in the right Pokemon, then it's really, really difficult. But yeah, I think the self-hit in game 1 was pretty bad.
Yeah, we were sad about that too. Like, it killed a lot of momentum that you've been building up.
Yeah.
Fortunate turn.
But, oh well, at the same time, this is now even more intense, obviously, as now
Oh, yeah.
it's a 1v1 score, and yeah. GG's to barudoru, who I should probably also message, and yeah, send me GG.